All right. Happy New Year to each and every one of you out there. It is January 1st, New Year's Day, 11 a.m. Eastern, an hour before kick time for some of the biggest bowl games and obviously the semifinals of the college football playoffs. Before we get to previewing those big games, before we get to your questions and comments, before we get to recapping what we've done so far this bowl season, let me remind everybody that Hit the Books is brought to you by BetStamp. The easiest way to improve as a sports bettor is to use multiple sports books and always get the best odds. We recommend using an odds comparison tool like BetStamp. BetStamp compares odds across every sports book for games, futures, and player props. You can save time and money by checking BetStamp before you bet. Download the app today. If you're looking to sign up for a new sportsbook account, please check out the offers available at betstamp.app/hitthebooks, or you can hit the link in the description. If you sign up through this page, it does help support the show. Knish, how was your weekend, man? I know controversy there with your Lions, but your Pistons finally got off the all-time losing streak there. How you feeling? I mean, the market loves your Michigan Wolverines. Everyone I talk to, easy win for the Michigan Wolverines is what I'm hearing.
And you know what? You're hearing it right, baby. Double cross here. Jim Harbaugh, Michigan. This is the moment. This is the day. I will say it was you know what? The Lions loss. I love. You know what? I just love to be between us friends here. Joey K had a pretty big Stefanski Coach of the Year position that was, I think, in danger if we convert that 2 points. So we'll keep that off the record. But I listen. I love the style. I love that I did Dan Cam. I just like his game management, aggressiveness. It's like all the things that you've been looking for. And I'm sure this offseason he gets a big extension. Obviously would have liked to, but you know what? You weren't going to get the 1 seed really. So unless Frisco tripped up. So I don't know. I'm fine with the execution. And hopefully you get a little chip on the shoulder going into the playoffs. So yeah, we'll see what happens now going forward. And big slate of ball today, baby. Last big slate of the season. Should have a couple good ones.
Yeah, and so far we have a winning bowl season. I think 7-4. Well, 7-5. I give one loss to producer extraordinaire Zach Phillips for double betting us on the NC State game. But
Yeah, we did. Zach, we had of all the games to double down, that wasn't the bowl we wanted to double down on.
no, we had opportunities. So I thought I was going to land 2, and I was really going to have some good quality material for the show at that point. The all important 2 number that I said watch that come into play. LSU today for us -7. Obviously that's gone, but I think anything under 10, I like LSU there. Again, a lot of their guys are going to play. Wisconsin's down 7 starters. I already liked LSU as it was. I think Nussmeier's a good backup quarterback. So even without the Heisman Trophy winner, I like LSU there. Let's get to. You got anything else you want to get to before we start getting in the chat?
No, you know what? I just yesterday, I was getting a little concerned about the LSU until this morning, where a bunch of Wisconsin guys decided not to. I didn't see much info on the Wisconsin stuff and then I think it kind of came out that more starters, especially this morning than usual, we're going to sit. So feel a bit better about that. I think the one angle, and I don't think this prop is left up anywhere, but yesterday was making all the buzz, was Zach, see if there's any Malik Neighbors receiving yardage out anywhere. I think it got axed down everywhere, but if you have a spot that's still, if any of those are actually, let me see if actually
FanDuel still up.
If the FanDuel one, any of these are going to be okay, but I'm not sure if they're actually still there. But if you have access to it, whether it be at a PPH or any one of these that no, the FanDuel's one's not there, but the word on the street is that he's got 22 yards to set the all-time LSU record. He wants to get the record. He was a little bit quiet about playing the game. So the thought process is he gets the record and then he sits. So I think they're going to play him on the first drive. He's going to get the 22 yards or whatever he can get him on the first drive or something, and then they pull him. So that would be the one Joey prop for today. I don't want to put it submitted in there because I think most places are down. But if you have access to it, if you can find one, a Neighbors under anything in the 60s is fine. So that was the one angle that I don't think we had covered there on this one.
Agree. I did see that come across. it won't be funny because a lot of people are going to lose money, but they hit an 80-yard TD bomb.
Yeah, yeah, I was gonna say that. And, that's the thing is, like, I
They just
don't know if it's
come down.
like, I don't know. It'd be one of those where, like, I don't know if it's just like, oh, I get the 22 and then I'm done, or is he going to play the entire first quarter? And
Yeah.
So there's some variance there in that one if you got it. But other than that, that I think we're in a good spot with the -7.
Fabulous one in the chat. CLV question. Oh, wow. Love these. Getting the better of the number generally yields positive ROI, but these bulls are the craziness that makes betting early to secure CLV almost meaningless. What are we doing going forward? I'll probably be a little more selective. I probably bet a little too much, particularly the lower level games. I bet a little too much. I didn't anticipate the opt outs at the quarterback and transfer portal quarterback for some of the G5. So I will be a little bit more selective. I'm not going to totally change script and say, well, it doesn't matter anymore. I'm not going to bet any bowl games. But that's kind of where I'm at. Where are you at as far as that?
Yeah, I think there's definitely a higher level of variance. I think I would have, we talk about it all year, how early in the season we do more of the money line round robin stuff because of the higher variance. Teams change, transfer portal, especially a lot of rosters flipping over. To be honest with you, I probably wish I would have been a little, and again, this could be, a short sample, but a little bit more aggressive with some money line stuff in the postseason here that I didn't really even consider. Going into it. So that would be an angle that, probably look into a little bit next year in terms of, I'm maybe not round, but just playing more money line in general, which is usually not my, I usually do like some early season money line stuff, and then for the most part, don't really do it. But the Wyoming money, Craig Bowl, baby. We didn't touch on that one. We usually didn't play too
Glad we did money line on that one, aren't we?
I laid some Wyoming money line myself there. So was happy to get that one across there, and glad I don't know, felt it in the old bones that we needed money line on that one. So I'm glad that got in there.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That was a good decision by us laying that money line. Well, I mean, went lower total, points at a premium. Didn't feel like laying a field goal with them after the line moved. So thought we did a good job there. All right, good. You know what? One thing I was going to tell you, current, if you just blindly bet the money line on these dogs, to your point, 16 and 20 plus 10.35 units. Not too bad. What are we doing, man? Just bet the money line on the
I was going to say,
I take 10 units. So yeah, to your point, I agree with that. That'd be another change I'm more willing to make. Even if they're a 6-7 point dog, you got to sprinkle at least a little bit on the money line on some of these underdogs because of the variance. Excellent point by you. Trey in the chat. If I told you people inside the building in Knoxville are pretty confident in Nico and say he's the real deal, do you see a path for Iowa to win today? Money's on Iowa. A lot of people I respect on Iowa. I kind of lean more towards the Tennessee side because I do think Nico's the real deal, and I don't think he's that big of a downgrade from Joe Milton, but kind of got to see it. Iowa's defense isn't the best defense to face for your first start, but I lean a lot of people I respect. I'm opposite of almost every game today. I lean Tennessee.
I'm with you. I honestly, I thought around a touchdown. Well, I can see buying over a touchdown, just based on their it's one of those. I know people have talked about this this Iowa Bowl streak where they overperform offensively compared to what they normally do. In the to be honest, here's the problem: is like those were all better Iowa, which relative, not great Iowa offenses, but better than this year's Iowa offense, which was the worst in the country. So, I mean, there's been years where they've had, NFL tight end talent and better quarterback play,
better offensive line play,
great, but much better offensive line. So I don't really see it. And this was not a Joe Milton podcast here because he was pretty inconsistent. For the majority, he would heat up for a little bit. So I don't know. I agree that this defense and Phil Parker and some of the confusion stuff could be hard in your first start. That would be but a gun to my head right now, I would play Tennessee. If it was going to get a little lower, was actually going to come in, but it's probably, I don't think we're getting below 5 anywhere. So might look to live bet a little bit if Iowa gets in front, but it would be Iowa or Tennessee or nothing for me.
Agree there. Gets in the chat. Do you guys like Roma Dunze receiving yards? It's my personal favorite bet of the day. Have you or franchise any orders on the Texas Washington player props?
Only the Dylan Johnson rushing yardage under, which I
I
think
agree with that.
has been there was some early but were like mid 80s. I think those are gone. I would probably now it's low 70s. I'd still be okay smaller there, but wouldn't go much lower than that for a smaller play. But again, Texas is a team that you just haven't been able to run on, and how you want to attack them is through the secondary with the wide receiver. So I don't hate the play. The only thing I would say is that I think you're going to get for the first time in a long time all of the Washington receiving weapons 100% healthy or close to it.
Yeah.
So Adunze was a guy they would focus on, but now you're going to have McMillan much healthier than normal. You got Polk, you got Giles Jack, so they might be able to spread it around a little bit more. That would be my only counter. I'm not trying to talk you off it because I like playing, especially receiving. I like playing the elite players in big games, especially when you think you're going to get focused on them. The only thing is that Washington's got so many other guys to go to that that they haven't had for a large part of. McMillan was hurt for part of the season, so. That would be my only counter, would be that I think they probably have the opportunity to spread it around more than they've had in a while.
And that's certainly a matchup edge that's feather in Washington's cap. Their pass offense against Texas pass defense. So, yeah, I do. What's your thoughts on the money coming in on the under continuing there on that game?
I didn't get in on a 60 bet over when it was over 64. And then I kind of let it go. And hearing some breakdowns and also that, think both teams play not to let up explosives, a little bit more conservative. So I tend to agree with the move, but I think it's gotten down to a point where I'd be no longer interested in actually betting it. So if I get early score or something to get the live in the high 60s or around that, then I think I'll come in, but I don't want to chase it now.
Steve in the chat, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you and everyone watching and listening to this one, guys. Steve's question, Alabama or Michigan? Quite simple.
I think we got another head-to-head, baby. I think we got a head-to-head.
It's me against the world here, so that's fine.
I tell you what, though, this to me is such a points at a premium type game, type result where I think it a little bit along of the Wyoming Toledo thing. Yesterday, I made a drive down to a shop to get like the cheapest Michigan money line I could find. It was like a minus 115 yesterday that I was trying to get in on. Because honestly, I think like if you wanted to tell me you like Bama at a juice 3, I'm not going to argue with that. I'm not laying a 2.5 here with Michigan. It would be a cheap money line so this is one that, I don't think has the massive varying scale of the Texas Washington where you really want to get. I mean, if you've got a minus, I think, what is it, minus 130 there, minus 128, that would be, I would prefer that over laying 2.5.
Michael likes Michigan money line for all the coins. A lot of people, a lot of podcasts I do. Everyone loves Michigan. Mr. Muscle's Michigan. Another podcast I do, Michigan. Tailgate tent before we came on, Michigan. I don't even know why Alabama shows up today. I mean, Michigan,
I hope they don't.
Michigan's got the better coach. Michigan's got the better players. Clearly, the Big Ten's better than the SEC. I mean, Michigan's got that great success in the Rose Bowl history. I mean, wow. I mean, Alabama might call it a game, man. I don't know.
Harbaugh might end Saban's career tonight.
Oh yeah, I mean, they're gonna, JJ McCarthy, who's got a lot of touchdown passes down the stretch. He certainly looked better down the stretch. Michigan with that big strength of schedule edge. Yep.
A lot of great teams. Sans ignore the Penn State and Ohio State results. Sidebar.
Yeah.
Ohio State has to get a quarterback, right? Like it.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know if they win the game even with Devin Brown. I mean, maybe.
I think you know what? I was talking to a Missouri, one of my guys who was Missouri, and it was like people are so reactionary to results, but if Brown is healthy, I think Ohio State probably win. Not in like this resounding fashion, but I would still think I would have had Ohio State to win. It seemed like they eventually
moved enough. Missouri was pathetic offensively for 3 quarters. I mean, really bad game plan.
It was basically the defense wore down. Like they couldn't, Ohio State couldn't keep the ball. Eventually their defense got tired and Missouri was able to break off some plays late. So I don't know. I think objectively that I don't think Ohio State, especially at the numbers early and some of the ones that you got, I think that was a fine play. Even with Devin Brown not being like, he would have been better than the Wildcat or Kleinholtz or whatever they were doing, but
oh man, that was still bad.
That was
their offensive line still got whipped. I don't know.
That's fair. That's fair. It was a bad performance, and some of the stuff like the quarterback coach and some guys not showing up at meetings, like
at some country concert.
Yeah,
this is in the weeds, but when I knew Heartline wasn't the guy, what was that? He got in that ATV accident, drunk.
Yeah.
That's just typical. I mean, I'm from Ohio. Heartline and I are similar age. That's just typical shit you see every Saturday night. I just screams. I don't know.
I'm wondering.
I don't like them moving forward. Do you? As far as like winning national championships, getting beating Michigan consistently and all that. That's what I mean by that.
No, I agree. I mean, because obviously you've got a lot more competition now where, it's not going to be, and same for Michigan, but not going to be like 8 layups and then like, oh, you play 2 real games. But if they don't go into next year with, and I don't even know if like who's left out there that really like Will Howard would be better, but does that like, that does, Will Howard's not going to take you to a national championship.
No, he's not. And I don't hear any whispers Cam Ward as far as to the Buckeyes. So
no,
I'm hearing more and more NFL Cam Ward.
Yeah, his dad said today it's either Miami or the NFL, and we'll know soon. So
I go NFL over Miami. So, and I don't like his prospects as an NFL player, but your NFL stock is going to go down in Cristobal's offense. So leave. Terry in the chat. We love Terry. He did send us $10 there.
Terry, Tequila Terry, baby. Hope you had a little, 1800 last night for yourself. Not too much, though, because you're up early here. So, I'm glad you had a little glass there. One glass on the rocks.
And Terry mentions, great show as usual. Thank you again. Got on LSU minus 8.5, a little bit more at 9 after I saw Circa tick up this morning. Do you guys look at certain books as leading indicators, sport, and add to your bets? Hey, good question. Yeah. Although it's been tougher than past years, I'll say. And sometimes there's setups. Circa's tough to look, Circa's tough because they'll move right off a bet, and you got to decide if that bet was sharp or setting it up. But yeah, you certainly you look at your more square books versus your books that take a little bit sharper action. That's part of the process, definitely. Although, do you agree it's gotten a little tougher this year?
Yeah, and you know what? I would the layer I would add to that is I think certain books for certain sports, where like Circa, especially for like college football, more of a leading indicator. A book I would look to that would be a little bit sharper on that side of thing, or an NFL, whereas Pinnacle would be more of like a hockey or a soccer, especially soccer. They got really into like their stuff. So it really, I think, and then on the flip side, people might use one of those leading indicator books for their non-sport or non-focused sports to kind of fake it. So that's a little in the weeds. But yeah, there's definitely the leading indicator books and PPHs. We always joke about the penny lean there. But yeah, it's one. So I would say just for college football, especially, Circa is definitely one of the ones that one of the primary ones I look towards.
Absolutely. And obviously, because they take the biggest bets. Quick announcement. We're well over 300 live viewers here, only 78 likes. Make sure you're hitting that like and subscribe button. Not for us, for producer Zach. He wants to 2024. He says it's his year. He needs.
Yeah, I was going to say Zach's going to be. Hopefully we boot Moretto and promote Zach.
Holt in the chat, is it Dave Portnoy moving the Michigan line? No.
No, they'd let Dave Portnoy is just a more popular Mattress Mac. So
yeah, if he was moving the line, it'd probably be going in the other direction.
yeah.
Considering what he's done here the last couple weeks. But no, it was it wasn't old Brad Bauer stout service got shoved right back in his face, says you suck. You're not starting off 2024 with CLV. I might be okay with that considering how CLV's not worked for me, at least last year. No, it was Tailgate Tent and Mr. Muscles, and maybe probably Joey K. I mean, Michigan, baby, go blue. And I mean, it's just walk in the park today over the Crimson Tide. I mean, them poor Crimson Tide. Boy, oof, I feel so sorry for him today. John Hudson, what a joke Auburn was. I agree. Total no-show. Freeze.
Not to not get us the total there.
Especially how? You told me Maryland scores 31. I was like, easy winner.
Did you watch that, man? The last fourth down too? That it wasn't even Thorne anymore. It was, I think, Brown. Like in the red zone, 4th and 7. Guy was like literally would have walked in, like was wide open. He turfs the ball there for a touchdown that would have got us over. So yeah, that was a frustrating event there to not cash that over.
Recruiting is going well, so. But you'd like to see a little bit more effort on a week in and week out basis that you saw against Alabama.
I agree with you. They had some. I mean, obviously the New Mexico State one goes up, but they had some clunkers pretty much all season throughout the sprinkle. And again, I think Hugh knew he didn't have a quarterback, but at the same time,
have they gone out and got anybody though?
That's the.
I don't think they have.
I don't know. So I agree with you. Like I don't know. I'm not really sure what they're doing going into next year because I don't think these guys were the answer this year. So
I know they got a decent freshman coming in, really good recruiting class overall coming in, but I thought they'd be in the mix for some guys. I heard whispers that they wanted Leonard, but Notre Dame had that locked up. Go Irish. Mitchell in the chat. Oregon first half. Boy, Oregon took some money the other day. I was a little surprised that came in when it did, but I think they're the right side today. I bet them. I did not bet first half though. Did you get involved in this one?
You know what?
10.5 is the first half line.
I was in on a little Oregon early. I came back on some Liberty at the 18.5. So I call it Joey K. I don't have a lot of. I know Oregon should be able to move it regardless, but I was I was hoping for maybe even a little better, but I played back some 18.5 last night. So nothing that I would run to the window and call it game of the year, but I just a little high for me now at the moment. So think Liberty be able to kind of move it a little bit. So yeah, we'll see. I mean. Just a number that I think in the bowl game that is a little bit up there for me. So, but yeah, no strong. I'm not going to call it game of the year.
Georgia's a little up there for me. I would still wish I would have bet it.
yeah, that was God. One that we probably
hindsight's always 2020. But I was like, God dang, Georgia minus 14 as a bowl game of the year would have been pretty nice. I mean, I know they didn't have anything to play for. I know they had a bunch of opt-outs. I did not like the competitive spirit or lack thereof of Florida State. I saw A&M had a competitive spirit, even though they lost their quarterback on the first drive of the game with an interim coach. I didn't like what I saw from Florida State, obviously. Buy price for LSU team total. Yeah, I think anything under 35 is okay. What do you think? It's 33.5. It looks like juiced to the over.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, if you got a metallic or a penny, there's like a 33.5 minus 117, minus 120. I like that. And Buckeye's a little more juice, but might see if I can get a metallic clone there to bet a little of that because I agree. I like that at 33.5.
Carlos Bilbao in the chat. Bo Nix plus 3.5 or over 3.5 touchdowns, I guess he means by that. Where you at on that one? I mean, I did bet Oregon and the over. You said you leaned Liberty at 18.5. Man, some money on the over this morning. That's up a couple
Yeah.
points.
Yeah, that's rich for me on the 3.5 TD. You really like. I don't know if it's one of those things, especially if it gets out and he has
Hey,
you
shut
know,
it down at halftime.
yeah. That would be
Is he
my
running in a
concern.
game? It's not a high leverage game as far as I'm concerned. Is he running around in this game? I don't know.
Right. So yeah, I would tend to agree with you. Where I think, especially if Liberty get, if they're up by, you say either halftime or they're up by multiple scores in the second half, 21 or something. I don't know if he's out there. So that'd be my concern there.
Gets in the chat. Yeah, we talked on Roma Dunze receiving yards. Basically, conclusion was, I mean, with all three guys healthy now, it's tough. I mean, we think it's
It's
the
just a
right
big
direction,
number
but
for them all, all the weapons now out there. In a lot of those games where he was just setting it, and again, he don't get me wrong, great player, but when McMillan wasn't out there and Polk, like they were, kind of force feeding him in some of these games. I don't know if not sure they'll need to do that. And I think Texas is going to play, two deep safeties way in the box to try and limit explosives, a little bit more underneath stuff, which goes to the other guys. So that would be just my concern on that one.
I like this one outside the box. Holt instead of Neighbors under. How about Brian Thomas over 60.5 receiving yards? I can see that.
Yeah, I know. I just know that like LSU's got a lot of there's some young wide receivers too that are coming out there that they're going to throw. So I don't think they're short. There'll probably be some guys who you hadn't heard of this year that are going to rip off some big plays today. So yeah, I didn't play. To be honest with you, I've got to plug your nose on Neighbors under. So I didn't want to correlate double down on that position with Thomas over. But more power to you if you like it.
Moderately difficult. That's been the story of the season. Tennessee way too cheap now, under 6. I know the secondary issues, but it's Iowa. That's kind of our conclusion. We lean Tennessee. Respect the money that's come in on Iowa, but I don't think Nico's that big of a downgrade. And boy, you're trusting Iowa to have some success offensively, and we just haven't seen it. I mean, big old goose egg against Penn State and Michigan, two best teams they played. Yellow Snowman have Alabama 5.5 to 1 to win it all. Already took Michigan money line for a 1 unit. Should I add another for the hedge? What's your thoughts? You love Michigan money line again. I don't know why Alabama shows up today. So, I mean,
the problem, Snowman, is I think you kind of put yourself underwater there. If you have 2 units on the Michigan money line, Bama wins. Then if you want to hedge out in the championship game, you're already kind of
Alabama be favored though.
Yeah, they'll be favored, but you'd have to kind of hedge to get your initial hedge back of this game, and that kind of bleeds your profit
Good point.
out. I would let it go, and then if you want to hedge out, wait to the championship game.
Steven in the chat, any player props you like in Tennessee, Iowa? Nico pass yards over. Did you or franchise?
The franchise, man. Oh boy, franchise.
He's going over Iowa props, isn't he?
Yeah, he went over, and these were not dry. Listen, I bet him for him, but these were not rubber stamped by Joey K. I do like the Caleb Brown one better, who really came on end of the season, Ohio State transfer. Caleb Brown, I think it was in around 30, 31. Also played the tight end Ortega over. Yeah, 31.5 there on Brown, which I think is a better. He the tight end Ortega, and I know Iowa used the tight ends a lot. It's just his number was this is the highest number he's had all season. He's kind of and again, they've had 4 tight ends get hurt. So, it's one of those where, you kind of, but it was just too big a number for me for a guy that is, everything underneath. He's not catching any explosives, any of that type of stuff. So, but yeah, he also played the Ortega over, or Ortega, however you say it.
Tennessee is decimated pretty significantly in the secondary corner. Not that I was the team to take advantage of it, but
yeah.
I mean, so they got a lot of guys out there. Vince in the chat, thoughts on the total in the Wisconsin LSU 57? Yeah, I mean, I don't know where you can find 57 right now. That's starting to run right now to the over, up to 58 in a lot of spots. Rovell said it was under was his lock of the year. Seems like fade material. I bet the over. So, I mean, I would say this on LSU. I think this also goes into our LSU handicap. They lost Denbrock, obviously, so that's pretty significant. Obviously, storyline is going to be they lost the Heisman Trophy winner, but Actually, it might be a positive losing Denbrock in this game. They got 2 co-OCs going, kind of as a job audition. I think they're going to be aggressive with 2 young guys, maybe even more than Denbrock. So, where do you? I kind of lean over. I mean, LSU overs has been great all year.
Yeah, no, I lean that way too. I don't think either defense is really worth much. And I think you could be kind of a game, on the, nice in Tampa that just kind of a YOLO game. Both teams going up and down, a little bit of, Old Myth Penn
There will
State
be some
vibe.
pace.
Yeah, pace.
So yeah,
I like the over. And if Ravel's on the under, hey, nothing. Then I love rooting for the over too. So
yeah, I agree. Do you like any Steve in the chat? Do you like any touchdown props, either anytime or first? I know that those markets usually are threshold for the books are pretty high. So do you bet into any of those too much?
I will say, yeah, I agree with you. The college prop TD markets are usually you're paying a little way too much. They're ripping you off pretty hard there.
Yeah.
In terms of the pro ones are more fairly priced. In terms of whole percentage, the college ones usually quite the scam. So I don't get into the first TD. I saw someone did say Milrow over like 1/2 interceptions was like minus. Yeah, I agree with that, Con. I think Michigan's going to do a lot of zone coverage, confusion
Yeah,
coverage.
where's that? Even though I like Alabama, I could see that.
Yeah, Connor, tell us what I was. You know what I meant to. What do we got here? The 141.
128. Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
like
you've got.
Canby books.
Yeah, so actually might
There you go.
join you. I still got. There's a bunch of Canby shops here in Michigan that use different casinos. So still got a live one here from. Yeah, so I think I'll play a little of that myself. But I agree. At 128, I play. At 140, I would pass.
Cam Ward's expecting to make a decision in the next 24 hours. We're just waiting at bated breath for that decision.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, it's.
What do you? If you had to flip a coin, where would he go? I wouldn't be a bit surprised. Miami. Miami's just ponying up. Like, I mean, they're just paying people. Doesn't matter.
I don't see. I mean, I haven't done like a huge draft deep dive yet, but
He's not going in the first round.
You
I don't
think
think he's going in the second round.
I was gonna. That's okay. That's what I was saying. I was like, I mean, if Miami's offering you a couple $1 million, I mean, I don't know. I think that's the more prudent decision financially. I don't know if I mean, obviously, from a next year perspective, I don't know if it looks good, but I agree. I would just take the money at Miami and then be a late round pick after that. So.
Pierre in the chat, Joey, here in Michigan, will we be better off waiting for public money to come on this afternoon, or maybe see an Alabama +3? And I'll tell you what, I'll be looking for a +3.
The only thing I would say is like that, unless you have a local that's going to shade lines or something like that, all these books are so like state to state interconnected that that's usually when you see like it's like the state lottery. Like I remember like the Oregon, or something that's very like FanDuel. Michigan's not going to shade the line because it's Michigan. It needs to be something like local centric, like a state lottery or a local PPH guy if you're looking for a shade. But yeah, I would play if you find a Bama +3, I'd play that.
And it takes a lot to move this. I mean, even though we came in, boom, boom, it was like a 1-2 punch, Mr. Muscles and Tailgate. I mean, still some twos out there, a lot of twos still. I mean, and they were giving it out at 2. So it takes a lot to move this market at this point. It ain't like a normal regular season game.
For sure.
Even an earlier bowl game where if those two would have came in back to back like that, the line would have moved 3 points. The guy in the chat, any idea when books will begin to post 2024 college football futures? I think you were saying FanDuel has already done that.
Yeah, FanDuel had it.
Or they tear it down already?
No, it's up. It's just
I'm not wild about it, man. I don't know. I got to analyze this 12-team playoff. I'm not going to be involved, I don't think, too much in it.
I would like. That's exactly what we talked about on the earlier. Is just like it kind of has changed the whole outlook a bit with the 12-team playoff. So, and again, usually you don't find a ton of ton of value in the futures market for the most part anyway. I found the national championship. So I don't know. It's just one of those that I probably, won't have a position on until some point next year, if at all.
Yeah, unless there's a blatant mistake, like a Georgia 10-1, you see it some stupid book, or Alabama 10-1 or something like that. Other than that, I don't expect to get involved. I mean, how many rosters are capable of winning 3-4 games in this new playoff era?
Right.
Not many. One HP in the chat. McCord, one and done at Syracuse. Thoughts? Probably. That's an interesting team that I'm going to have to dive deep into. They're going to flip over that roster and be
one and done different. Is in. Where's he going the next year?
Yeah, there you go.
Like I don't
NFL,
one and done
in
the NFL, or one and done he transfers somewhere else, or because if one and done to the NFL, I don't think so, sir. I think he'll be there for a couple years, unless it's one and done as in Syracuse gives him the boot too.
Craig in the chat, are trap lines a real thing or just something made up by recreational bettors? Yeah, I mean, I just think that talking point. I mean, you could say that this Alabama-Michigan one be a pros versus Joes type of game. Probably seems too easy on the Alabama side to recreational, but I think a lot of that just talking points. Don't you feel that way, or what?
Yeah, I think it's one of those just kind of like urban
reverse line movement. And the betting percentages say 62% of bettors are on this. And boy, with the line going the other way, we have a reverse line movement play of the year on blah, blah, blah. All that shit is nothing.
Yeah, and that was all the it was like gambling content for many years. And I think
still is, man.
Yeah, the trap line is still kind of one of those old myths that are still around.
I will say I just wanted the data. I literally for 3 years, this is several years ago, but 3 years, I took a consensus on the betting percentages, went to like all these websites that were at least publishing it, did like an average, went through and see how it did. There was no actionable conclusions that I came to on any of that stuff. I did it for 3 years in college football. Nothing.
There's like the data sources, especially if you're as you're saying, combined book, like one book might be shaming this, and some of the data reporting too, very, very sketchy. So
if there was actual info on it, they wouldn't report it. I mean, come on. It's just that's how it is. Don't you think?
Fair. Yeah.
If there was an edge to be had, they would not fucking report that stuff.
Very good point.
Why would they? It makes no sense. Egg in the chat, sitting on Washington Natty 62-1 preseason. That's pretty good. Half unit. Yeah, half unit.
I saw your DM on this, and I forgot to get back to you, so I apologize.
Yeah, not life-changing money, but it'd be pretty big for a 23-year-old. Hedge a little today, and then more than a little bit more if they make the ship. I would say hedge a little today, wouldn't you? On something that good or no?
Yeah, the problem is that like, what's the money line currently right now? Yeah, you know what?
Find the absolute cheapest money line possible. Hedge.
Yeah, I think
a little bit.
Yeah, like minus 165, I think is the cheapest out there. The thing is, you're gonna have to lay like they're like a 3.5, 4 point dog. They'll be probably at least a 6 point dog so you're gonna have to lay a little bit. I could go into it knowing, game it out where if they win this one, how much, and then you're gonna have to lay. So, but I agree at 23, 31 units. Yeah, go ahead. Maybe lock in a couple units on Texas today, and then you can go, whatever, if you want to do like a 10 unit something on that. If you want to get a little risque, maybe you can see, high total. You can play a little live. Might be, you do 1 unit pregame, and then if Washington gets out, you can get some Texas plus money at a unit or two. So, yeah, I again, personal preference, but don't go too crazy with the hit. This is why I always like, don't get yourself in a situation where you're hedging out of the final, and like no matter what, you're only walking away. It's like, oh, I burned 20 units on hedges, even if they won that. So just lock yourself in a little bit, but don't overdo it, because I think sometimes people don't totally game out like the compounding money line of when they're a dog in both games.
Another donation to the Zach Phillips Master's Degree College Fund. Mitchell Ferguson, CA. Does that just mean cash? $10?
I think it's Canadian.
See, I'm like, oh, Canadian $10. Okay, fair enough. I see CA, man. I'm so old school. That reminds me of like the old bottles. CA would be like 10 cents. MI 5 cents. Do you know that? Recycling. I'm old. Never mind. Cut that from the final video. I do not want to age myself like that. All right. Thank you for that. We appreciate it, especially Zach does. Connor in the chat, Joey Props. Do we have any thoughts on McCarthy over rush yards? I've seen that come across my screen a little bit. Presumably, he's healthier than the end of the regular season. Mobile athletic quarterbacks have always torched Saban's defenses. What do you think on that one? I would agree with that. But problem is, couple sacks with Braswell and my buddy Dallas Turner off that edge. That counts in college.
That is the concern. And so I think this is one that, in another matchup, another day, I would be. The problem is they really didn't in the last few games. He was banged up. He had the ankle thing. I thought it was going to be one where sorry, I'm firing in here as we speak.
Firing in over there? You got over money coming in, LSU. Look at this screen light up.
More LSU and over steam there. So you're trying to run for a little 57.5 there. But I agree with it. I like it. That it's just in the last few games against Penn State, Maryland, like he wasn't right. They didn't run him too much. I think it'll be on today in terms of more of a running. The RPO will be active all day, but we haven't seen that for most of the year. And as you're saying, the sacks come off and you figure, our tackles have been shaky in pass pro. So again, one of those where I'd play it. I wouldn't go crazy on it.
Wow, a lot of Roma Dunze questions. 1 HP, Roma Dunze better than Maserati Marv?
No.
Give me the Maserati.
Yeah, no, I think Marv is probably the best receiver prospect since Calvin Johnson. And I mean that.
Wow, that's a hot take. I don't think it's that hot, to be honest with you. I think that's pretty good.
I think he could have been a wide receiver one in the NFL, like one of those guys that could have played wide receiver one in the NFL last season. So, yeah, I think he's about as safe as it gets.
Love it. Oh, strong. Calvin Johnson. Yeah, that's good. Wyatt in the chat, Salters for Liberty passing yards. I did not see that come across my screen. Did Franchise send that in?
Yeah, we play it, but I think at a cheaper number. I think it got way bet up. Zach, if you want to Salter for Liberty, the quarterback passing yardage, see where it's at now. Yeah, there was like 167 originally.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that was a good bet.
So yeah, this one really took off. I don't know if I would play it there anymore. I would probably pass at current.
Stephen Robinson in the chat, is Iowa going to be able to score even if Nico turns it over once or twice? I don't see how Iowa scores 14, given what their offense is showing this season.
Friend of the show, Colin Wilson, loves the Iowa team total over. That was one of his favorite plays.
13.5 over big time juice, even 14.5's out there, Buckeye and Jazz.
14.5 would be a hell no for me.
13.5 over juiced. I can't do it, man.
No, I couldn't do it. Listen, I get and a lot of like the people are seeing Iowa bowl game history and the defense, some of the 10 opt-out. It's just this was the worst offense in college football. The worst. Like you watched Eastern Michigan play, they were worse than Eastern Michigan. So
yeah. You got to factor in strength schedule a little bit. Yes, statistically by far the worst.
From a raw, numbers perspective. So, not for me.
Pierre, Oregon Liberty total on the run, 71 plus now. Where's 71 plus? I see some 71s.
Yes.
Do you middle out a position at 63.5? I personally wouldn't. There's just too much, to me, variance in totals. I mean, it depends. Are you making your own totals numbers? And if so, I mean, hell, if you made the total 66, 67 yourself, then sure. I wouldn't go full middle. I mean, you got 8 points almost of CLV, but I bet that early number at 63. I'm not playing back.
Yeah, I agree. Got some early. I don't even know what it is, but some early number. We're just letting it roll. So, yeah, I would agree with that.
Might have our answer on Cam Ward. Miami's engaged with transfer quarterbacks Malachi Nelson and KJ Jefferson.
Huh?
Interesting. KJ Jefferson in Miami wouldn't be terrible, would he?
No, I don't hate that.
I don't hate him as a player, to be honest with you.
I agree. That could be. I don't know. Miami next year.
But look, they open them with Florida. That week 1, I don't know. I'm already getting excited. It's only January 1st. We got semifinals today. Week 1 of college football next year is two thumbs up. I don't know if you've seen some of the matchups. I think Georgia, Clemson, Notre Dame, Texas A&M, Miami, Florida, LSU, USC, looking real good. I think week 2, Texas, Michigan. Love it. Let's get this thing. Let's get this party started. Mark M in the chat. Does Michigan game get to 3? I don't think so.
It would be bought up immediately.
Yeah.
Listen, if you get all these releases and if it hasn't hit 3 yet, like
it didn't even flash 3.
Yeah,
Did it even flash? I
didn't even flash. So if you want the 3, there's a few sites that let you buy on the 3 for cheap. So and by cheap I mean like the regular 10. You can do like a Ward NFL. Miami just the cocaine doesn't go like it used to down there. So just
or maybe it does. Help. That's some of their problems.
Yeah, or maybe it does. But 3 minus 120 on a PPH is if you like that with Bama, that's what I would do. Don't pay the 130 or higher.
Guy asks, how about Iowa under 36.5? Over money came in today. Didn't I see a 35.5 about an hour ago?
There's a 37. There's some 37s out there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You shop around. 37 is relatively key. I'm not too involved in the game, to be honest with you. I got a little Tennessee money. That's it.
Yeah, I'm not either. The total, I mean, this total literally opened like where it's at currently. It hasn't moved. I think, as you said, maybe some 35.5 show, but it's basically been pretty static. So, I don't have involvement there either.
Thoughts on Bama alt line minus 13 at 4-1. That's what I like to see. Roll Tide. 4-1 though seems. I feel like it should be a little bit better than that, don't you?
Yeah,
some of these alt lines that they have the sheet don't adjust for line moves. Am I correct in that? A lot of times at some books.
There is some
lines ticked up. I think you should be getting a little bit more than that.
I would agree.
I'm not doing like you with calculations in my head.
No, but I agree. No, there is some. If you look at sometimes the alt line doesn't move with so you would you probably want a little bit more. And to be honest, it's just not it's just a game that I don't think
it's a super high variance game. I mean, we even said if you teased Alabama, it'd be like
that would be
I think of worse teasers.
I for sure agree. Yeah, add it with some Sunday NFL. Or hopefully maybe you got one, got one already with yesterday's NFL. But yeah, I agree. That would be we would much prefer that to an alt line.
Am I reading this right? Drew in the chat. Joey K does Blue Horseshoe. Blue Horseshoe gave out Michigan too?
Was he asking or is he saying? I didn't see Blue Horseshoe. I hope to God he's not on Michigan. So
why he's had an unbelievable year. He never loses.
That's true. But also I haven't seen the NFL
Alabama
update.
Money would come in. Shows you how much he knows about the market. Now he's won, but my goodness. I didn't see Blue Horseshoe give out.
No, I don't see any. Don't see any Michigan on the time. Also, I haven't seen any Circa Millions updates on his timeline. So
must not have been a good week. I got this order on Minnesota. I mean, Minnesota money line's good. That's the one he gave me yesterday. Oh my God. Oof. Unbelievable. I saw you tweeting about it. I couldn't believe when I saw the quarterback. I'm like, I'm fucking dead. I'm dead already. I'm like, this is the game he gives me. Oh my God. Out of all the games, I'm pissed. Josh in the chat, buy price on under an Oregon Liberty. Lanning, D background. Are you there yet? I'm not there yet. I'm happy with the over.
Yeah, I
Market's
like
not stopping, so I mean, we'll see. But we got another hour, but I'm not there yet.
No, I'm not there either. And to be honest, and even some people, there's still some.
It's going. It wants to go
Yeah,
higher. I mean, it keeps
yeah, there's
going.
some 71.5 showing. So, yeah, I just, it's just not. Yeah, this is, and again, I know it's a bowl game, and I know totals in the 70s with the running clock and that have been hard. It's just one of those games where like it's hard for me to get like this Liberty defense versus New Mexico State. Now you put them on this to Chad. I think Chad will have a so yeah. I don't want to be on the under here.
Oh, how about a hockey question? I like this from Connor. Joey Pucks. What do you like for the Winter Classic? Who's
Joey
playing?
Puck. I don't think. I hate to do it to you.
Zach, jump in too with your hockey
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Oh, does what is because I don't have a bet on this one. I usually I fill for my hockey guy overnight and stuff if we do but hasn't sent anything, so I don't have a bet on this game at the moment. So I don't know if does edge work? Zach have anything or any of the?
Where's it being played at?
I don't even know. Is it?
It's Vegas and Seattle is up in the baseball stadium or what? Or is it in the football stadium?
Where is the winner? 2024 Winter Classic here. I don't have any T-Mobile Park.
Mariners Stadium, Connor says.
Okay, all right.
Connor says Zach is going to fade Vegas in typical edge work fashion.
You know what? The least profitable, and this is from I literally ran this data. Like the least profitable, what we've done in hockey, and the hockey's gone well, is fading Vegas, and like where their lines are always expo, and then they keep even last year in the playoffs. So
that's been true since the fucking franchise started.
Yeah, I know. It's really like I don't know what it's probably some of those people that work with UNLV have those Vegas same problem for Edgeworth. Yeah, so I don't know. I was hoping to fade Allbird Moretto, but I don't know what's around there. But yeah, the market does hate VGK, and VGK makes them pay for it a lot here. So give me the crack in the day, baby.
Anthony says Fez is third in the Circa Millions. That's going to be a good payday for him. That's probably six figures. I haven't looked at the payouts, but I'm sure.
I think so. I think they do. I think first is $1 million, and then it like goes down. It's more of still a nice pay. I think it's still be high six figures, but it's not like Survivor where it's all up to I think they do more of like a hyperbolic payout there, where so more people get paid. But no, good for him.
I guess. I don't have anything else. I mean, we have LSU. Did you want to add anything else? You and I got a head-to-head. Alabama, Michigan. Is there anything?
What number we want? What number are we locking in head-to-head there? 2?
2 is fine.
All right. And then we got a head-to-head Texas, Washington.
We got head-to-head on that one at what? 3.5 or 4? I don't know. I'm in trouble today. Damn. Go Tigers. There's a battle in that one. I'd see up to 10.5, getting bought back up. My goodness, wild here as we get the kickoff. I don't have anything else. I hope our 2024 is better than our 2023, to say the least. I hope you had a good night and safe night. Not only you, Knish, Zach, but everybody else out there. LSU, we're gonna root that on again.
Yep,
still playable. Again, 9.5 still available out there. DK looks like 8.5 right now. That's still playable for me. So that's going to do it. I really appreciate you guys watching us here on this New Year's Day. We're obviously got you covered for the national championship coming up. We'll have a Friday show. Or wait, are we doing a Friday show or are we just doing a national championship show? Zach, if you want to tell me on that one, even in the private chat, are we just doing one? Or are we doing a Friday and a Monday? I'm not sure on that one.
Yeah, you know what? Because Moretto sends a schedule and I never look at his stuff. I think we're doing we're just doing a Monday 6 p.m. lead into the Natty.
All right, good stuff. Thank you for that, Zach and Knish. Guys, take care. Happy New Year. Enjoy the games. You just watched Hit the Books, part of the Hammer Betting Network.
Go Blue.